so sorry, but I have to call out because I have 104-degree Fahrenheit fever.
You can take the day off, but you don't have any more PTO.
What?
Trouble busters!
All right, I got to work. This is the shortest commuting record. I'm going to order the mega lunch set today. My name is Helen. I work at Trubus Corporation, and I've been working with a perfect attendance for the last 10 years. Next Sunday, I plan on devouring a whole cake to myself to celebrate my perfect attendance for the last 10 years. My body is heavy, and I have a fever. I have to call out today. Hello, Mr. Cody, this is Helen.
Huh? What's the matter? You were supposed to be here already. What's going on?
I'm so sorry, but I have to call out because I have 104-degree Fahrenheit fever.
What? This is quite last minute, isn't it?
I'm so sorry. I'll be sure to rest well so I recover as quickly as possible.
I guess it can't be helped. Okay then, get well soon.
I was wondering if I could use my PTO for today?
What?
Yes, please. I'll fill out the form when I get back to work.
You can take the day off, but you don't have any more PTO.
What? But I've never used my PTO.
What are you talking about? It doesn't look like you have any left.
Oh, that can't be possible.
Besides, when I used to be younger, I never used my PTO, but younger kids nowadays.
I've never used my PTO for the last 10 years of tenure with the company. This must be a mistake.
But I'm looking at our attendance system of our company as we speak. There's no way this is a mistake.
But...
If you're so concerned, you might as well ask HR directly with any questions.
Okay. No more PTO? That's not even possible. I guess I have no choice but to talk to HR after I get back to work. I was wondering if you can help me confirm how much more PTO I have left? You're Helen, right? It doesn't look like you have any more PTO left. Are you sure about that? Yes, you can't use your PTO for the rest of this year. I've never used my PTO before. What are you talking about? You've been requesting it every time. Precisely when? I have the data right here, so take a look at it. Oh my goodness. It's not like I remember everything, but these dates are the dates that Cody has been telling me to take a day off, if I'm not mistaken. These PTOs weren't being spent under my discretion, but are they something that can be reinstated? Of course not. Besides, PTOs are always listed on your pay stubs, too. You should have confirmed it. Are you saying this was my fault? That's right. This is unbelievable. My PTO is gone without me knowing of it, and she's telling me this as if it's my fault, too? I can't just look the other way after being treated like this. I'm not letting him get away with this. Trouble busters! Sir, may I have a moment? Someone has been filing a PTO request form on my behalf without my consent. It even had your stamp on those forms, but do you have anything to say about this?
You submitted it, and I approved it.
That's not true. For example, do you recognize the date on this form?
It's just a normal day.
No, this was the date that my grandmother passed away. I had to take a bereavement leave, but it says I used my PTO.
That's because you wanted to use your PTO. You said you wanted to be off for 3 days, so I spoke to HR and you used your PTO. Per our company policy, you get 1 day of bereavement leave unless it's pertaining to your spouse's passing. But you said you wanted to take 3 days off, and that's why I helped you take 3 days off.
There is no such policy that bereavement leave is only 1 day. Are you sure you're referring to the company policy? According to our company handbook, our company provides 10 days of bereavement leave for the passing of a spouse, 7 days for an immediate family member, 3 days for grandparents, and 1 day for all others. But why is it that you only gave me 1 day of bereavement leave? I told you that my grandmother passed away.
It used to be only 1 day in the past. I wasn't made aware of any changes.
Are you trying to get away by pretending as if you weren't aware? There are other PTOs that were spent without my consent too.
Well, that's because...
It's illegal to force someone to spend their PTO without their consent. Do you realize that?
Ha! You're exaggerating.
No, she's not exaggerating.
Who are you?
My name is Lisa from the Labor Department.
What? Labor Department?
Is it true that you've been spending Miss Helen's PTO without her consent?
That's not true.
How are you going to explain this document then?
What's going on? Mr. Jefferson!
This is what's going on.
Oh my goodness, did you really do that? Hold on, this is a misunderstanding.
What you've done is illegal, and you may be sentenced to either up to 6 months of imprisonment or a penalty of up to $3,000.
If that happens, we need to take action as a company. This is bad. I never thought this would happen. I need to do something about this. Why am I taking the blame for a PTO request that Helen sent in for herself?
If I was the one who submitted it, I would remember it, but I don't recall any of these documents.
You probably forgot about them.
That's not true. I never submitted a PTO request before.
In that case, what were you doing on those days that the PTO request forms indicate? Were you working? That's strange, isn't it?
No, on the days that are indicated on these forms, I was taking a rest at home.
See? Do both of you understand now? This lady just forgot that she requested her PTO on her end. I'm sorry to cause you trouble.
You'll see what I'm talking about once you take a look at this notebook.
What is that?
This is a diary that I've been writing ever since I was a college student. I have a load of these, so I could bring it here if need be. Just take a look at this page, please.
It does mention something about your day off.
That's right. Whenever I have a day off other than the weekends, I've been taking the day off because I was told to do so by Cody. The reasons varied from employee refreshing day, birthday, and all different reasons. It says that you were impressed at how kind the company was. That's right. I never thought he was lying to me just to make me spend my PTO without my consent.
That's true. Our company doesn't have any employee refreshing day off. I have no idea what she's talking about. Helen, you need to stop lying just to confuse others like that.
I'm not lying.
You even made up that diary just to convince everyone else.
What are you talking about? How am I the liar here?
This is the proof that you're lying. This is the email that you sent me.
Huh? What is this?
This is the email that you sent me to tell me that you wanted to use your PTO. You should have submitted the PTO request form on your own, but you asked me to submit it on your behalf over email. So that's why I did you a favor to submit it for you. This is starting to look like Cody is telling the truth. I'm always ready for any unexpected hiccups.
But that's not possible. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone just emailed me. Wait, what?
Did you get my email? What's going on?
Oh, that's because my email address was there, and that's why you sent it. But you need to cut out this nonsense.
That's right, but I sent an email to the sendee's email address.
What?
Oh, this is strange. This email address isn't mine.
Oh my goodness! So, who sent this email?
I wanted to make that clear, and that's why I sent an email to the sendee of that email, but somehow Mr. Cody's phone ended up ringing.
Cody, do you have anything to say about this? Oh, please excuse me. I guess this was the email that I was practicing how to write emails with.
But you presented it as if it was an evidence for what you were trying to prove.
That's not true. I was just panicking because I was being falsely accused of something I haven't even done. I was just trying to prove my innocence, and I ended up presenting what I saw.
Even then, the body of this email actually mentions the exact dates that matches the dates that I allegedly requested PTO. This isn't a coincidence. I'm sure you had this email ready just to present it as evidence in case of something like this.
It's just a coincidence.
That's not possible.
You can't call something impossible when it's happening right in front of you.
But even then, my PTO request forms are stamped by your certified stamp, so it's evident that you submitted it without my consent.
She has a point there. Oh, are you talking about this stamp?
That right there, you can't give any excuses.
I actually lost this stamp at one point.
You lost that stamp?
That's right! And I ended up purchasing a new stamp, but I never found my old stamp. This means this stamp wasn't stamped by me. Someone else must have stamped it on my behalf.
What? That's way too convenient for you.
It's the truth. If you're going to accuse me of lying, why don't you prove it?
I guess I can't do that.
Kiddo, you're not capable of bringing me down like this. Okay, as soon as possible, please.
Sir, who were you just talking to?
I was calling the security office. Oh, why were you doing that right now? I figured that the stamp wouldn't really prove anything, so I figured that checking the surveillance footage will make things black and white. Surveillance footage? That's right. There were a few incidents when some of our employees' belongings went missing. Ever since then, we made sure we installed a surveillance camera in each room and each hallway. Was that so? That's right, and that's why I was calling the security office to see if I can take a look at that footage.
But isn't it challenging to take a look at the footages for such a prolonged period of time?
That's right, that's gonna cause some setbacks to our regular operations, so we should perhaps do that another time. Don't worry, we just need to confirm the date that these PTO request forms were submitted, and we could find out who filled out these forms.
Oh, I see.
I asked them to send the footage to Cody's laptop so we can go ahead and confirm right here.
There he is! He's filling out the PTO request form on my behalf.
He's even stamping it too.
So, things are clear now.
I'm disappointed in you. I never thought you would do anything like this. Hold on, I remember now.
Remember what?
That's right, there's something I completely forgot about. It's true that I was the one who filled out these PTO request forms. However, I did it out of a good intent for Helen's sake.
For my sake?
That's right. Since I have a managerial position, I've always been looking out for my team members' health and wellness. To my eyes, Helen looked like she was overworking. Okay. So that's why I decided to help Helen take a PTO for her sake. But if she ends up being aware that she'd be using her PTO, she would feel sorry about it. So that's why I've been calling it the refreshing day off and birthday off. I did it for the sake of Helen.
Is that even legal? No, it's not.
What?
As I mentioned before, PTO is something that can be spent freely by the worker. The company cannot spend it on behalf of the employee, no matter what the reason is. Did you confirm with Miss Helen when you were about to spend it on her behalf?
Confirm?
That's right. It wouldn't have been as problematic as it is right now if it was confirmed with her beforehand.
Oh, of course, I made sure I confirmed. But didn't you mention earlier that you told her that it was the refreshing day off just so she won't feel sorry for taking the day off? I made sure I explained it in a convincing manner, while I also explained that I'd be submitting the PTO request form on her behalf, too. I remember everything now. Anything from you, Helen?
None of what he's telling is true. He never said anything like that.
You just don't remember because you were too tired.
That's not true. I've never been burnt out like that. I enjoy and love working here. I didn't even think about using my PTO unless I was sick, like this time around.
That's right. Helen always listens to what others are telling her.
Also, Mr. Cody isn't the type of person who would be considerate to let his tired team member take a rest.
Oh, everyone.
Damn it, everyone else is starting to join this conversation. I agree with others. Everyone has been telling me that Helen is always energetic at work. She even had perfect attendance for the last 10 years. It's hard to believe that she was looking tired when she was at work. Oh, Mr. Jefferson.
Anything else? Are you going to continue giving excuses like this after all this evidence?
Shut up. This isn't my fault.
Cody?
I was against PTO to begin with. We already get our weekends and holidays off, and why do we have to take any more days off? We're all here to work, right? Why would anyone have the necessity to take a paid day off?
Well, PTO is something necessary for employees to work at a good work environment. Things can come up, and sometimes it becomes a necessity to be off other than weekends and holidays. That's right. I ended up being sick all of a sudden and had to call out, and would have wanted to use my PTO for taking that day off.
When I was younger, no one ever got sick. That's not the right mentality we want to be in, and that's why it became a law. Are you saying that I'm wrong? I'm doing this for the sake of our company's sales. I'm sure you had good intentions in certain ways, but I actually know what your true intent was.
My true intent?
You wanted to be promoted, and that's why you've been trying to generate as much sales as possible.
No, I wasn't doing it to get promoted.
Actually, Mr. Jefferson, I think you might be right. Whenever the other departments seemed to be making noteworthy accomplishments, Cody had been driving as much sales as possible.
He sometimes assigned us more work than we should have ever been assigned.
I've been looking at our sales data on a daily basis, so I know what the trends are. But I've always thought that it was because you had a healthy, competitive mindset. But you were clearly shorthanded to handle the amount of work that your department had taken in. And this is why you didn't want your team members to take PTO whenever they wished, but rather made them spend it all without their consent. We can't possibly keep following the way you run this department.
That's right. You can't use our PTO without our consent.
I'm so glad everyone is on my side.
Damn it!
Now, I'll be talking to you more about this in my office.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but can I ask a question? What's the matter? I have a question for Mr. Cody.
What else do you have for me?
Mr. Cody, you've never spent your PTO, right? What happened to your own PTO that you've never spent?
What? That's enough. How much more time are we gonna waste talking about this? Let's just end this conversation before it starts affecting our operation.
Oh, you look like you're panicking. You're making me curious.
Okay, let me ask HR about that.
Hold on!
Yes, I'm sorry to ask, but I need you to look into it ASAP. Huh? What do you mean he doesn't have any more PTO? This is unbelievable! Cody doesn't even have a single more PTO left!
I've been secretly using my PTO!
You weren't letting your team use their PTO, but you were using your PTO for yourself! You're a terrible boss!
I know! I'm so sorry!
Hold on, I don't think he used his PTO!
What? Tyler, what do you mean by that?
When Mr. Cody was drunk at one of our outings, he told me about selling his PTO!
What do you mean by selling his PTO?
PTO can be paid out as part of the pay by the company instead of having it spent as a day off. Yes, Mr. Cody has been cashing out his PTOs so he could buy his favorite golf clubs.
I see. So that's why he had no more PTO left.
That's right. So now that we know the truth, let's go to Mr. Jefferson's office.
No, I can't let you do that.
That's right. We have another problem now.
What's the matter? It's legal for the company to let the employees cash out their PTO. However, that's only under certain circumstances.
What? Really?
Yes, and in this case, his PTO should have never been cashed out. This means that it's an illegal action.
Illegal again?
Of course! The company wouldn't have approved you cashing it out. I'm sure you've manipulated the request form.
No, I never did that. I'm sure this guy is trying to trick me into this situation by telling such a lie. Don't let him fool you.
No, I had no idea about that policy, nor was I aware that it was something illegal.
That's right. And based on the fact that he didn't hesitate to submit my PTO request form without my consent, I'm sure he's used to these types of things. We never know, he might have done the same thing to others aside from myself.
That's true. We already know that he's done it to one employee.
I'm sure we'd discover the truth as soon as we look into his PTO cash out.
Okay, I'll admit to everything.
Okay, so you're admitting it now.
Yes, I've been old-schooled and I've spent my team's PTO without their consent, and I've been cashing out my unused PTO for myself.
I'm very disappointed.
But I'll never do anything like this again. I'll fix myself and work as hard as I can, as I always have for this company. So please, can we just look the other way?
We can't do that.
could you say that?
If we keep looking the other way every time we see someone do something illegal, this country would be in chaos. You'll be facing consequences for what you've done.
That's right. I can't possibly look the other way after discovering what you've done.
Damn it!
By the way, the PTO that I was supposed to still have would have been worth $40,000 if it was cashed out. I'm going to file a lawsuit against you to make you liable for that amount.
Hold on, $40,000 is a lot of money! There's no way I could afford that much!
That's the severity of what you've done. You spent my PTO out of selfish intent, and there's no way you would be forgiven for that.
Ugh.
Now, I'll be taking a report from you.
You did this to yourself. Just take your consequence.
Wait, please, isn't there anyone who would be on my side?
Mr. Cody was ultimately sentenced to a penalty. Bad rumors are quick to spread, and he ended up leaving the company. His family left him after discovering what happened, too. He works a few part-time jobs while he lives in a cheap, small apartment somewhere in town. As for me, I've been working as hard as I always have. The new manager for our department, who took Mr. Cody's position, was someone who cared about the team very much. Everyone in my department seems to be even more motivated than before. My colleagues seem to enjoy working here too. I'm going to challenge myself for another 10 years of perfect attendance again. Troublebusters!